Welcome to Paradise in the Pines, a podcast about the people, places, and stories that make this the home of American golf. Brought to you by the Pinehurst Southern Pines Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Yeah. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Paradise in the Pines. I'm Phil Wars, President and CEO of the Pinehurst Southern Pines Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we're doing a special edition, special shows from the 124th U.S. Open. You can see Thistledew, the putting green for the players for the championship. We're joined today by Jeff Hogan from WRAL-TV in Raleigh, the NBC and the Fox affiliate. And so, NBC Sports has the U.S. Open. We're going to have this podcast going to be posted later, so it'll be post-U.S. Open. But let's talk a little bit about your assignment here, what you're going to be doing at the U.S. Open. First of all, thanks for joining us on Paradise in the Pines.
Absolutely, pleasure, and it's great. And being the NBC affiliate, we're covered up by a lot of NBC coverage. Folks will have noticed that by the time they see it. But don't worry, we're going to get our say in there.
You've been in the area for how long now?
A little over 6 years.
Okay, so talking about your career, I mean, I had a TV career, and I got out of it, man. I realized it was not for me, but you do a great job. Jeff, truth be known, we're good friends. We play a lot of golf together. We'll get into that a little bit. But talk about your career path and what led you to Pinehurst.
Yeah, this is just one of those places where you get and you hope it's the last first day on a job, honestly. Yeah. I was in Columbus, Ohio before here for 20 years. Covered the Memorial Tournament there, recently played, and so for 20 years covered that tournament. I was a sportscaster turned newscaster, so now I anchor the morning news, and we're out here doing our field anchoring type of thing in the mornings and evening, and we're just covering nuts and bolts every bit of this every step of the way. Like I'll be on the air from 4:30 a.m. until 10 a.m., and then again from noon to 1 o'clock, and then I'll let the evening folks take over their shift.
We enjoy having you come down and play golf in Pinehurst, and we got a chance to play number 2 at least once. We might have played it a couple times. Totally different golf course during the U.S. Open. I mean, you're seeing these balls rolling off these greens. Talk about what it's like as amateurs as we are to get out and play number 2. I always tell people, if you never play number 2, you come in here for a vacation, you need to at least play it. You play a U.S. Open golf course, but number 4, Pine Needles, Mid Pines, I mean, they're all great golf courses, but playing number 2 as an amateur, what is the thrill and what is the disgust at times with, you get lost out here a lot.
The frustration is real, that's for sure, when you get out here. But to your point, we've played it twice together, and you always remember it because that's the allure of number 2, and I remember. I played it 3 times total. The first time was in 1998. The year before Payne won, before all the changes. And then I've played it twice since I've been down here, both times with you. And we've had such a great time. And for an amateur, I just think that you hit the ball, you go chase the ball. There's really no way to hit it out of bounds. You got to get it off the property to hit it out of bounds.
You got to work really hard to lose a ball.
Yes.
Number 2.
There's no one. I think the 2 times I played with you, I don't think I lost a ball. And that's not saying anything about my golfing ability. You've seen that. But that's the thing about an amateur coming down here. You're going to get lots of whacks at it. You're not going to lose balls. That's not going to be frustrating in that way. But then when you get up around the greens, I think it is so unique in the imagination at whatever skill level you are, what you can do. I like that Texas wedge, and you can use it in a lot of places. So you can putt from just about anywhere around the greens. But then, sometimes if you want to get it close, you got to be able to hit that off a tight lie and get a little spin on it and keep it close. But it's the allure of the Donald Ross and just seeing the greens and what everybody talks about, what you hear, and then get to experience it. It's like nothing else. You almost can't believe it standing on the greens and you look around at the surround areas where all the balls end up, and it's just like, how am I going to do this?
I think if you want to set the expectation for somebody playing number 2, regardless of your handicap, one I think is play the proper tees. People come out here, it might be a 15 handicap. I want to play it from the tips. It's like you're going to shoot 180, no question. And then also too, I highly recommend, you don't have to have a caddy, but I mean these guys here are top notch. I mean they'll save you 6, 7, 8 strokes easy.
And at least do the caddy once. And the thing is with caddies, I think a lot of amateurs would think that, the caddy's going to read my putts. I can read putts. But it'll be just a couple of holes, and they'll have every club that you hit, and they'll know which clubs that you should be hitting. And there's no vanity in their game. You know, they will tell you flat out, that's not enough, club. You need to hit more. They'll tell you, put it back in your stance a little bit off this particular lie in some of that wire grass area where it's waste area bunker, you know, that kind of stuff. So tremendous help, and they're so skilled.
And they'll tell you to use a foot wedge at occasionally. If they see your game, it's like, just get it out of there. Don't try to whack it out. It's not called, well, I've heard over the course of the U.S. Open, it's not weeds in the waste area. It could be wire grass, but Pinehurst they're really good at marketing, you know, so they like to call them pine blossoms.
Oh.
So they've planted a lot more for this U.S. Open, and I noticed, having played on Media Day in May, you know, before you could hit them in the waste areas, you're going to hit off hard pan. You might be near one of those clumps, the pine blossoms, but they planted thousands more for this U.S. Open. So, you know, going off the fairway here is going to be no bargain.
Are they going to take them out after?
I think that'd be a good idea.
I might not come back if they don't take them out. But, that's the thing. You can get lucky in there. And I think hearing the players talk about how before the changes, you could hit it in those areas and you'd have a 70% chance of having a good lie. Now they're saying it's a 30% chance that you're going to have a decent shot out of there and be able to play a ball, move it forward, and get it out of there. But, yeah, I did witness my caddy actually give me a little help. He was far ahead of the group. I don't think anybody else saw it. I saw it because, you know, I play it down. And, he kind of gave me a little help on that one.
It's interesting. When I first moved here 6 years ago from Atlanta, and I would go, we're not very far away from the veranda overlooking the 18th hole of number 2 and the Deuce restaurant. I would come over here on Sundays and get a little practice in, but I love to watch people, you know, finish the 18th hole.
Sure.
And, and typically on Sunday it might be in the Payne Stewart location on Sundays. And so Tom Peister, who's the president of the resort, I said I love to do that on Sunday. It's just good, relaxing, and I like to talk to people. We head up tourism here. Hey, where are you from? How many times have you been to Pinehurst? First time, been here from England, whatever. But he's like, you know what me and my son always have bets on? I'm like, what's that? How many people actually finish the final hole of Pinehurst number 2? Because after a day of being physically, spiritually, mentally beaten to death, but enjoying the experience all the while, scull it over the green a couple times, 4-putt, you're just like, let's go have a beer in the Deuce or go to the brewery. And so it's amazing how many, I started watching that. It's like more than 50% of people don't finish the hole.
I've never not finished it, I can tell you that. I'll always finish. But you're right, sitting there and watching those folks, it's such a thrill. And you come up and you wonder what's going through their head, and you wonder when they hit one within 10 feet or so. All right, is that into 3, 4, maybe? It's very interesting to see. And you mentioned people from all over the world. I mean, this is such an international event here that you walk around, just listen, and you can hear different languages. And it's really neat.
I know you've covered PGA Tour events, and you were at Muirfield Village, covered Jack's event, Memorial for many years. What is the vibe here in the Home of American Golf in Pinehurst? So historic, and our 4th U.S. Open here. What makes Pinehurst special to you?
I think just walking around and knowing, having lived here now for 6+ years, living up to calling itself the Home of American Golf, and seeing people come in, going to that fan area, fan central down there, and seeing folks come in. It is a golf tournament on steroids. Mm-hmm. If you've been to other tour events, this is way above any of those other events in the numbers of people, the knowledge of the folks who live in this area and love this area and play down here, but the people coming in who are making once-in-a-lifetime trips.
Yeah.
And they appreciate the history. They don't know what they're getting into, but they leave with smiles on their faces. And I think this tournament in particular, seeing a major championship return here, it is, if folks haven't been out to it, it is unlike any other tour event if you've been to those.
No question. And those people coming here from around the world, we're hoping they're booking their trip to come back and play.
Right.
Because it's a great place, not just Pinehurst number 2, but they got 10 golf courses here, 40 within a 15-mile radius. You mentioned Payne Stewart, the 25th anniversary, of course, of his historic putt in '99. It was interesting, they actually moved the location for the first time and since it was erected a year after his passing. They moved it away from where it typically is and has been for years, overlooking the 18th hole, to the fan experience. You mentioned the fan experience, but now, because where it was originally, it's a lot of suite access, so not all 250,000 people that are going to be here for the week will get to go by and take a picture, which it is the most photographed thing in this destination. It's actually out among the fans as you enter the main entrance coming off the harness track, so it's really cool to watch people. They were lined up like 30, 40 people to get that picture.
I just saw it. People wearing the +4s, they got the knickers on, really, and taking pictures in the pose with Payne. That's exciting, and they come, and they're not going to miss that. And when you come in, gate 1, main entrance, Fan Central, that experience there, you can't miss it when you walk by. It's right there for you. So well done in moving it and allowing access to more people.
And we can't wait to have the U.S. Open back here again in 2029. It'll be the men's and women's again. And I know the weather's going to be a little hot, or has been for the U.S. Open, so we're looking forward to having it again all the way through 2047. Let's talk a little bit about, we played some golf around the destination. Talk about some of your favorite golf courses. I know we played number 4, but maybe off property here. What are some of the ones that you like to play when you come down and play with us?
You got to, if you can go over to Tobacco Road, I mean, of course, that is just one of the ones that people talk about, and you get there. And a lot of folks have a love-hate relationship with it, but I think if you go in with an open mind and you listen to folks who have done it, right, it doesn't fit your eye when you look at it, but when you get out to your fairway and your tee ball, you see, if you look back, how wide open it really is. Mm-hmm. So it's visually set up to look impossible, and it's really not. And it's fun. A couple of blind shots in there. That is a super fun place to play. Very close to there. Quail Hollow is an accessible track for a lot of folks, and that's a good place to go and play. I could go back to all the way to Raleigh, which is not far away, and a ton more golf courses there as well. But you can't go wrong with it. There are some private clubs around here I've had the pleasure and the opportunity to play, which are fantastic.
I think we played CCNC, we played Dogwood.
We played the Cardinal or the Dogwood, one or the other. And then there's another, it's over near Seven Lakes. It's a private course. You took me out there
Dormy
as well.
Club.
Dormy Club, which is just an exclusive. There's about a half a dozen of the Dormy Clubs around the country.
Right.
So to get on that, they all have that sandhill feel and that waste area, just that rough, raw kind of feel to it. That's just special for this area. It's really cool.
And of course, we've had a chance to play over at Pine Needles, Mid Pine, Southern Pines Golf Club. We played all 3 of those, right?
Yes. And fantastic. All of them a little bit partial to the Pine Needles, with its history and what it's had for championships there as well. But Mid South, that's an Arnold Palmer, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic course there. Fantastic test. You get to ride the scooters at Pine Needles, right? You can have a good time with that. That's always fun.
Yeah. You got the nickname Fonz after.
I pulled a wheelie.
Jeff the Fonz.
Wheelied the scooter, like the Fonz. That was great fun.
So going back to your coverage here, so you're trying to interview players, fans. What's kind of I know you guys are like all over during the whole week, and of course this will post after all this amazing coverage. But when you're sitting down to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit, when you sit down with your producers and your news director perhaps, and talk about how do you attack a U.S. Open from a coverage standpoint?
Yeah, well, it's been 10 years since they've done it. We have a lot of folks at the station who remember 10 years ago and how we covered it. We pulled up the plan from 10 years ago.
You brought the heat back. You didn't have to do that.
We brought the heat. It's record-setting. It's the hottest U.S. Open at Pinehurst that we've seen for certain. But we looked at the old plan and then adjusted it to what our current needs are.
Yeah.
And sports team has done a great job of handling players and course type of stories. And then on the news side, we want some of that fabric of the community, the village, businesses, where are people staying, within a 100-mile radius, things like that.
Yep.
There's economic impact in that's tremendous. Akshay Bhatia is a Wake Forest kid, so a local golfer who played here. And I talked to his parents and had a nice conversation with them about the pressures of a young kid. He's 22. He made his first PGA Tour start at the age of 17. He didn't have a driver's license, couldn't book a hotel room.
Couldn't buy a drink.
How did he go on the road? Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to get some of the fabric of the community and tell a guy like Akshay's story behind that. I think there's 16 golfers younger than him in this event that played. So all those have been fun. Of course, we have to talk about the news of the day with the heat
Right.
and the dangers of that, because that's a real thing. The hydration stations, fantastic additions in preparation for that. That wasn't a last-second thing. That was thought out. So the medical personnel on high alert for that type of thing. But, yeah, just reacting to what's going on in each day.
So you're going to get to play golf. Where are you going to play next?
What's funny is when you come out and you cover a golf tournament, you're just out here, but you can't play, and so you're just jonesing. You're just jonesing to play. You want to go get out there and play. I don't know where I'll play, but I'm sure it'll be next week.
Awesome.
So I can't wait any longer.
Talk about your ownership of the TV station, because when I worked in the TV, I worked for conglomerates that have multiple TV stations. Yeah. WRAL is unique with Capital Broadcasting. Talk about the uniqueness of that. And I know how hectic the broadcast industry can be, and you have good days and bad days, but I mean, your ownership group really makes it a pleasure to come to work every day.
Really does, and I came from a similar situation in Columbus, Ohio. The mom and pop shop, as it's known in the business, they just don't exist anymore.
No.
And to be able to come into that again, a second time in my career, not many folks get the opportunity to do that. When you have a question and you need an answer right away, there's no red tape, there's no running it up. Your owners are right there. They can make the call. So we tend to lead the industry in innovation and things like that, just the thinking forward process of having folks right here who are part of the community and have been for years and years and years. So owners actually have a place right here in Pinehurst. So
why not
too far away. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, Jeff, I know you got to run. You got to catch up with the photographer. You got plenty of coverage here at the U.S. Open. We enjoy your coverage. We actually, right where we are at the Paget Learning Center, the webcam is right above us, which you can see on WRAL-TV. I think you have 35 cameras in the WRAL Weather Network now, but that. Because you're on in the morning and noon, I know you tell the producer, hey, put on that Pinehurst cam.
Of course.
We love seeing the beautiful shot of the country club, and we appreciate all you do for the coverage of the area and for the coverage of the Home of American Golf, Jeff.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's well-deserved, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Hogan from WRAL-TV, the NBC and Fox affiliate in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Well, if you want to learn more about tourism, go to our website, Home of Amercian Golf, or homeofgolf.com. If you want to learn more about some of our videos that we do, check out our YouTube channel at Home of Amercian Golf. And if you like this podcast, search for Paradise in the Pines, download it and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time. We post them every other week, so we'll